it right here in your bulletin. And I know you know the chorus. 1, 2, now let's sing. Some bright morning when this life is over, I'll fly away to that home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away. When I hallelujah, I'll fly away. Okay, ready? We'll do verse 2, When the Shadows. 1, 2, sing. When the shadows of this life are gone, I'll fly away. Like a bird who's been born, I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. Enjoy the band. They're becoming magnificent right now with each passing words. That's we on the tenor saxophone, brand new. Woo! Just a few more weary days and then I'll fly away to a land where joy will never end. I'll fly away. Sing really good and they'll hear you. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away. When one more time. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away. All right. I hear laughing in the air.
I hear laughing in the air.
Up above my head.
Up above my head.
I hear laughing in the air.
I hear laughing in the air.
Up above my head.
Up above my head.
I hear laughing in the air.
I hear laughing in the air.
And I do believe there's a heaven somewhere. Amen. For 7 years, or 10 years, or 18 years, everybody go, ooh!
Woo!
And you can say, Pastor.
Pastor.
That must mean it's very dusty.
That must mean it's very dusty.
I'm glad you're making that point. I don't have to explain that. Yes, it's very dusty, it's very hard, it's very kind of narrow and focused, and you remove this, and you're just kind of in a corner of the garage or the basement or whatever, just kind of dealing with this. So do you know what's really good when you're doing that? Ask me, what's a good thing to do, Burns?
What's a good thing to do?
Sorry, people. Sorry. To go outside. I go out. I mean, this has happened more than once. After being in that swirl of dust, being in the swirl of good memories, being in the swirl of sad memories, being in the swirl of just stuff when you're moving. I bet everybody here has been through this at some point in their life, some recently. Maybe not 20 years worth of stuff, but still. In that, out of that swirl, go outside, take a walk, breathe fresh air. It's good for what ails you. Amen?
Amen.
Okay, so I keep that in mind, and then think about this passage that Diane graciously read for us. It's kind of long. Thank you, Diane, for taking that load for me. This, ironically enough, is the passage about Solomon, the great King Solomon, building the temple, the great Solomon's temple, right? This is a big deal. It's all about this big structure, which seems like a funny thing to read on a day that we leave our temple and we come out here. And for sure, I thought about going somewhere else other than the lectionary. But, do you know what he does in the middle of that dedication? Right there when he's talking about, oh God, bless this structure, bless this amazing building. May we have lots of jewelry and lovely things. He says, even heaven and the highest heaven cannot contain you, much less this house that I have built. In the middle of this dedication, and this would be considered the great temple, that would become the center of at least one way of practicing Judaism. That becomes an issue, 500-600 years later. But at this point, this is very central. He says, let us remember that not even this magnificent temple can contain God, because God is just too big. Amen?
Amen.
And he goes on from there to use this occasion, when he's saying God is just bigger than this, to also say the world is bigger than this. The need is bigger than this. There are foreigners out there. When they come, treat them with respect. Treat them with love, because that's part of your big mission. It is bigger than our house. It is bigger than our place. It is bigger than the people I know. God's world is immense, and God's love is immense. So, even though it's kind of a funny passage to read when we're out in a park, it's a great passage. Because this is our chance when our church is in a lot of transitions. This is our chance when a lot of us are in transitions, when I'd like to say our whole country is in transition. It's good to step outside. Everybody just say, step outside.
Step outside.
And remember.
And remember.
God is bigger.
God is bigger.
The world is bigger.
The world is bigger.
And we are here to love.
We are here to love.
It's good. You know what? It's also good for your health. It's good for all sorts of things. Some of you remember those studies. Within the last year, we had a book study, and some of that stuff coming out from different folks who study this thing, and they say how healthy it is to have moments of awe, to look and see that it's bigger than you, to notice the trees, to notice the sky, arguably even to listen to all the airplanes. That one's Spirit. It's cheaper. It's quieter. Because what they have found is that when you practice that, when you take time to get away from the dustbins and breathe and see and behold, you live longer, you're healthier, and this is the one I love the best. You're more likely to cooperate and collaborate. So friends, this is good and right that today, even though there's a lot to do back home in our church, and a lot to do in our immediate neighborhood, to realize that it's much bigger than that. Tim gave us a great sermon last week, reminding us that we need containers. And that is true. Amen?
Amen.
And we love that container on the corner of Vinton Street? Don't we love that upside down ship, as he reminded us, right? It is also good to come to places like this and remember that even beyond the container, we have loving to do and God is present. So embrace this day in the spirit of Solomon. I want to close with just one item among many that I found in all my packing and unpacking and purging. There is a book. I've given away a lot of books in the last week and a half. There's one I'm going to keep. It was a gift to me from my pastor. When I graduated from high school, said, I'll give you the date. It's 1978. Yeah, wow, says Arthur. Yes, that was a long time ago. Yeah. But so 1978 in Iowa, in Des Moines, Iowa, and my pastor gave me this book, and it was in a companion book to a series that was on PBS at the time called Civilization with, I think, Kenneth Clark. And, you know, kind of TV summary history of Western civilization developments, that kind of thing. Beautiful series. But he gave me this book, and he had this lovely inscription on it. And in the inscription, he says nice things about my family and me and wishes me well and offers his blessing. But he also lifts up a part of the book. He says, in this book, it describes a place in Scotland called Iona. And Iona figures prominently in some things that were happening like 1,200 years ago. But he lifted it up because he said for him personally as a pastor, Presbyterian pastor in particular, Iona had become important. Because in the devastation of World War II, a man named George MacLeod from Iona, from the ruins of this ancient abbey, reapproached community, kind of found folks to work with him who would have a sense of community that involved being there at Iona from time to time, but also being out in the world. And he said he lifted it up because he had this motto after World War II, we will rebuild. We will rebuild. So I didn't notice that 40 whatever years ago when I graduated from high school, but I saw it now because, as some of you know, Iona has actually become very important to me. I've been there with my family. We sing songs from Iona. If you do 6 o'clock prayers, you are saying liturgy from Iona. So I lift up, may he rest in peace, my pastor, Keith DeLapp, Quincy, Illinois, and Des Moines, Iowa. And I lift up the gifts of looking back and remembering and dusting off and dealing with that. But we also balance that with stepping out, remembering it's bigger than all of that, and offering ourselves to continue that love in the next chapter, whatever it might be. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. Friends, please join me. There is a unison prayer or a call. If we could say that together.